Gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, we are here and we are live with the one, the only, the legendary Coach Pot. Thank you for joining me tonight, brother.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Man, I'm so pumped to have you on. I got to hang out with you today. Actually, I thought that was a lot of fun today. But when we were in the studio just discussing before going live here, I was asking you what DeWatt is because I see all the guys in the chat from the team. They're hashtagging DeWatt. You were about to explain that to me. Go ahead and do that.
So DeWatt is a podcast. So it's a podcast that they all know Steven. So Steven's going to get all the fighters in there. So the four horsemen, which is, David Marquez, Diego, you got Hattie, and you have Steven. So those are the four horsemen. And they're going to go into that podcast and they're going to talk about how their career started. What is the fight game? They're going to talk about fighters rep, the rules of kickboxing, and they want to promote. They want to promote themselves and they want to promote the fight, So, you were there, George, for your last fight. So, if anybody ever been to a kickboxing match, that was the match to go to. It was amazing. It was an amazing show.
Much appreciated, Coach Pot. I really appreciate that. And I love that the guys are going out of the way to market the fight, man. I try to explain it to the fighters all the time, and me and you had this conversation today, Pot. It's not just, you're not just selling tickets because the promoter wants to make money. That's just one small slice or one small reason to do so. You want to be able to sell tickets as a fighter so you have leverage, right? So you're attractive to other promoters. So you're attractive to sponsors. They know you put butts in seats. They know you have a following. They want to come sponsor you. They want to come support your career. It's not just anymore a one or two-way street. You guys can get sponsorships through Instagram. You can get it through Facebook. You can get it through YouTube, Twitter, what have you. And, that's why I tell guys, hey, go out there, sell yourself. You'll sell more tickets, which in turn will bring more money, which in turn will bring more fans and more attention, not just to the promotion, but to the fighters. And that's what we're doing, Pot, as a promotion. We're trying to sell fighters. Now, the reason we have the legendary Coach Pot on the podcast today, ladies and gentlemen, is because just like the thumbnail entails, we'll have the four horsemen of BPMAA, that's Buena Park Martial Arts Academy, coming to represent at Fighters Rep 15, Coach Pot. You've got four fighters on the card, man. Tell me, how that is. How do you guys even manage all of that?
So, this is exciting. You already had three of the guys in there. You start off with Hattie, you had David in there, and then Steve, So now we're going to start bringing in Diego in there, So these guys, they always wanted to fight for you. They like your show. They like your promotion. They like you as a person, So, and they want to show their skills, before your last event. They're already signed up, on your show with their weight, with their name, with their record. So that's how dedicated they are. They're ready. They started training before you matched them up with anybody, So, Hattie, he wants to display his kickboxing skills. He came in there, he took a last minute fight, and you've seen it. Every single person that watched your YouTube channel, your FightersRep.com, seen Hattie go in there and explode. He put the person down in the first round, and then there was some energy that was displayed, but he didn't come out with the victory. But now he's ready. He's working over there at gym that I help out at Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. With Coach Johnson and Miss Ferrer. So he's ready. He's ready to make a new comeback. Into this. Into the lion's den,
For sure.
David had it. Go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so David, he's making a comeback too. This will be the third time that he's going to be fighting for you. So he's 1-1 in the lion's den. Great tough fight. We thank you. We appreciate you for saying that he's the fight of the night. Made a good video. He's ready. The day after his fight, he came back and he's ready for camp again. So He's putting it all together to display. But this is the cool thing about David. No more headgear, no more shin guards. So he's going to go at a different level. So you're going to see, a faster David coming into this fight. Steven, you saw Steven in his last fight. We got the first, the second round, and then in the third round, he wasn't able to complete his goal. Now he's coming. He has a new reintroduction to this fight game, and you're going to see a new, different Steven. You'll compare his last fight and his next fight. And then we have Diego. Diego, every day in practice, I go, Diego, go kick that guy. Just kick him. And Diego goes, this is my teammate. These are my friends. And I go, no, thank you, because they have to put their hands up. If you kick them in the head, they're going to thank you later because you kicked them in the head, because they have to put their hands up. And when he doesn't, and I call him over, I go, hey, thank you for displaying that. That's what you have to do. You do that, you're going to win this fight. So it's fun training these guys, but don't forget, Coach Johnson, he's doing it too over there at BP MMA. And then we have Miss Vieira helping out the guys, with their fundamentals and their weight training. So these guys are ready for this fight.
For sure. And I love, it's just, I don't know if it's coincidence or what it is, Pot, but I love the fact that the first guy you mentioned was Hadi Sukkar, and the reason for that is, you mentioned he took a very late notice last minute fight for us the time that he did compete for us. He put his opponent down on the ground, but, basically gassed out because, again, he didn't have a training camp. He basically took the fight at the last minute. But he's so exciting. He's so hungry. While he was in there, he put on such a show and showed so much heart and grit that I've decided to make him the first fight of the night at Fighters Rep 15. Yeah, because, my goal with every Fighters Rep is to start out with a bang and set the momentum. And I think you've seen that. I think you've seen that in our past events. I was a lot of the time putting Raymond Martinez as the first fight, right? Who's going to be now fighting for a title. The last time I did it, I put Melvin Guerra versus Shanchai as the first fight of the night because I felt like those guys were going to bring it. Melvin always brings it. And this time, I saw Hadi was on the card, man, and he just fights. I mean, he just fights like with everything, with so much desire. That's what I remembered from that first fight. And, he kind of threw bad intentions into every shot. And I said to myself, how are we going to kick off Fighters Rep 15 right? We got to put Hadi Sukkar on the first fight. And, of course, with time we'll reveal the rest of the lineup. I mean, I like to give the coaches a little bit of space. So I don't want like your guys going back to back, but perhaps like a fight and then a different couple teams fighting each other. And then Coach Bot, you're back on with maybe like Steve Fernandez or someone like that. And then so on and so forth. I wanted to ask you that. Do you like having that little space of another fight between when you're cornering your guys?
I do like that space. When we're in the back, getting the fighters ready, we give them the last fight before they go in to, reset, refocus, so before that, we're working on 3 rounds, the 6 rounds, getting their breathing, getting their combination. So they're getting ready to go in there, A lot of people don't know, part of the fight game, there's so much nerves there, there's things that are going through our fighters' mind, stress level or chemicals changes. So, we're always thinking about certain things. So, me and Coach Johnson were back there. We had another trainer named Jeffrey. He was helping out for Steve's fight. We're trying to connect with our fighters and just kind of get them ready for the fight. But if I do have that time, 2 or 3 fights before the next one, 2 or 3 fights before, the third fight, that'll give us time to get ready, Yeah. And then taping up their hands, wrapping up their hands, you got to do a little special skills for that.
For sure. Yeah, we still need to get you. We still need to get you on tape with your magic hand wraps, man. I think you're like the only person I've heard of that can do it without scissors, without cutting the hand wrap. You could just do the whole hand wrap without anything.
Correct. Yeah, I look at their hands, measure their hands, and then know where the thumb is, the bottom part, and no injuries. I was able to help Bats Ruin's fighter one time tape up his hand, and there was another fighter. So IKF, they would always come to me, hey, Coach Pot, can you assist with taping up the hands, wrapping up their hands? And, it gives me the opportunity to talk to the fighters and kind of give them a little tip too. So they're always appreciative for that.
For sure, and I love having that level of, just skill present back there. And of course, in the corner with, again, 4 fighters that are going to be joining us for Fighters Rep 15 out of Coach Pot's team, Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. Again, it's Hadi Sukkar, David Marquez, the Death Dealer, Steven Fernandez, and Diego Gonzalez. You mentioned David Marquez too. We talked about Hadi. He's going to be kicking off the night for us. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight. It's going to be between him and Elliot Aguayo. It's actually a rematch. They fought, I believe, MMA in the past. So this is their opportunity to get down to business with kickboxing.
Yeah, correct. So it was cool. So when you sent over that, matchmaking, I search him up. I do my part, I do my homework. And then when I looked at his opponent's record and I see Hadi's name there, and it was a draw, and then we were ready for that fight. Hadi wanted to make the weight cut to get down to this weight level and then put it together, and this time, trust me, you're going to see a different Hadi. You put him in the first fight, you're going to see, some explosion, so like I said, working with Coach Johnson, working with Miss Ferrer, there's a new Hadi in there. So get ready for that explosion.
And I look forward to it. I mean, it's his first time with a full training camp competing for us. So I definitely look forward to it. We also said David Marquez. We did put out that highlight that was fight of the night between him and Ralph Sanchez. And man, I mean, I think that's the perfect David Marquez versus Ralph Sanchez. Just even bringing that up is the perfect segue into telling everybody that's watching, please subscribe to this channel. Join this channel if you want to watch these fights live. But most importantly, get your tickets at FightersRep.com or in the link below. You're not going to want to miss Fighters Rep 15 on September 3rd. And a huge reason you're not going to want to miss that is because of guys like David Marquez. I mean, what an incredible fight that was, Coach Pot. I was sitting there ringside. And by the way, I'm the one who chooses what's fight of the night, what are knockouts of the night, because usually I sit back and I watch every single fight. I was sitting there ringside and I said to myself, what is this? My goodness, you know what I mean? David and Ralph were just tit for tat, going for it, they left everything out there. It was an incredible fight to watch. Kind of give me your thoughts on David Marquez and that fight and what you expect from him going forward.
So, going towards that fight, we knew we were going to be fighting hard works, and we've seen, Evans coming from that school. So we've seen, how they fight. So we knew it was going to be a straightforward combination kick or combination. So we put that together with David. So we told David, anything you feel, you have to give it back. You have to give it back first before they try to counter. So, and the game plan went perfectly. We had a great game plan. David executed it, and the fight's over. I'm taking off the tape, from David's hand, and I go, "Hey, get ready to raise your hand. You won this fight. You were able to dig deep and get that last minute, and but the decision didn't go our way. But it's a very close fight, So yeah. If it goes to the judges, it goes to the judges. There's nothing that we could do. Me as a coach, I told David, this was the best fight I ever seen you do. You're stepping up to the next level. So now when you fight again, no more headgear, no more shin guards. You're moving up to the next level. There's nothing to it. So get ready for it. So now he's in training camp. He's sparring with David Duran from Bellator, sparring with Cisco from UFC. So, and these are guys in his weight class. So getting ready for that southpaw style. So,
yeah.
you know, if you were to go to practice, you'll see how, you know, he's looking, you know, so he's ready for it.
Yeah, and I remember we did a little segment on him before he even had his first fight, I think, and he was already looking pretty good. I mean, definitely a very talented guy. What I love about David Marquez, besides the talent and the improvement and the fact that he's a great fighter, is he's a great marketer. He's great at marketing himself. He's great at selling himself. He builds a lot of excitement. He builds, it's awesome. I mean, you see his social media. He's nonstop on there. And I think it's important. I think that's something that all fighters should look at. But if you guys haven't already, definitely check out his highlight. David Marquez versus Ralph Sanchez. That was fight of the night at FightersRep 15. At least that was my choice. And you can watch the highlight. It's amazing. Let's move on to Steven Fernandez, Coach Pot. You mentioned it briefly. He came out to FightersRep 13, our first time at the Commerce Casino. He banked those first 2 rounds and just happened to get caught in that last round. It was his first fight ever. It's an amateur fight, so it's win or lose at this level. But he was looking good in that fight. I know he's hungry to get back in there and prove something. Kind of tell me about Steven Fernandez.
Yeah, so he went in there in the first round and he did his thing. Second round did his thing, and going into the third, I told him how to go. Hey, all you have to do is find the 2 and find the 3. That means right cross and a left hook, a left hook to the body or a left hook to the head. It's open every single time. But we were fighting Chad George's team. So this is a tough team that's going to come. They're not going to, even if you're down, you're going to keep on going. So Shannon Hill did his thing and came victorious, with that body shot. But Steve, didn't look down on it. He was ready for practice. He's putting it together. He's doing 3 a days, so he's coming in the morning, coming in the afternoon, working out at night. Not only that, he's also helping out at the gym. So, he wants to be a part of this. He wants to take this victory. He's ready. And he's a good marketer too. He's showing off his exercise. Yeah. He has the Watt, podcast, and he wants to put it in there. He wants to promote himself, wants to get to that next level also. So I'm proud of him. Very proud of him.
Yeah. And, shout out to the team. I mean, I see Hattie constantly plugging away as well. Steven, all the guys are plugging away on social media, getting these butts in these seats, getting these tickets sold to show people, this is the most exciting rule set, at least in my opinion, for combat sports, and with every show, it's getting bigger, it's getting better, more people are showing up, and we've really built a community. And I appreciate these guys, showing the people down here that we've got something great going on. Come watch these fantastic fighters throw down. Now, let's real quick touch on Diego, Coach Pop, because he's an unknown commodity to us, man. He's never fought for us before. He's making his debut in the Lions Den. Kind of tell me a little bit about Diego.
So Diego gets to see, Hattie go in there, gets to see David go in there, gets to see Steven go there. All these guys are in the same similar weight class. Yeah. But Diego in practice, he bangs. He put combination together. He's doing his weight training over there in Empire. He's getting and putting everything together. And the cool thing about him is that he knows how to listen. He knows he sees the opportunity, and then when he wants to put it together, he puts it together. So I can't wait. I want to see him, get to this level. So he did a smoker, in Vegas one time. This was a kid, that not a kid, but an adult, a man, that told himself, hey, I'm just going to drive to Vegas. I'm going to cut weight. I'm going to go join, this event and do it. He did it, and it was amazing. So he's ready for it. So
I love it.
You're gonna find another love for this fighter, so get ready for it.
I appreciate it. We've got a ton of people in the chat leaving comments. The Watt boy, they're saying Sukkar is going to eat that man alive. Everybody's saying, what's up, coach? Guys, if you have any questions for any of, about any of these fighters, for Coach Pot. If you have any questions for me about Fighters Rep 15 on September 3rd, drop it in the chat. We're happy to chat with you guys. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys may have, or read any comments that you guys may have about these fights coming up. We also had Abel Lauren here. He said, shout out to Coach Pot, best talented coach. Shout out to Fighters Rep, badass promotion in SoCal. Appreciate that, Abel. Thank you so much. And listen to this one. This one's very fitting, Coach Pot, because I actually got to play a little basketball with you today and hang out with you today. It says, it's from Ricky, who says, I've seen Coach bring a team back from 10-1. One of the best athletes of our time. Jack of all trades. I love it, man. I love it.
So, we played basketball today. So, I wanna play 5 games, just like in a fight.
Never again. I want to preface this by saying I never want to play basketball with Coach Pot again. First off, he shoots. His shot is money. They need to call him Coach Money Shot Pot is what they need to call him. But go ahead.
Hey, the shots, that's all I have, So, but you have George posting me up. He has a little Tim Hardaway crossover, and then it was a great game. It was a great game, but strategy-wise, I look at you. You're taller than me. You have that reach where you can block my shot. I have to shoot over you. But I knew if I could get you to the second game or the third game, I knew I was going to get you tired, and I could just go back there and just keep on shooting threes. So, shout out to my friends that are able to tell me, about the games. But, just like the fight game and basketball, it's strategies that we put in together, so.
Brandon Aragon says Neff Park days with Coach. Steve Fernandez has repeated the nickname Money Shot Pot. Man, I mean, the 3-point shot Coach Pot's got, just the jump shot he's got is crazy. And a lot of it, I mentioned your base, man. You kept making your shots. Your base is so strong, man. I'm sure it comes from all that kickboxing you did your whole life, man. And you played football and you played a bunch of sports as well.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much. But it was a pleasure to play with you. I want to do it again, so yeah. It was a great workout.
I'm gonna need to do some cardio if I'm ever gonna get back in there with you, brother. So yeah, Coach Pot, 4 fighters on this card. I'm gonna spread it out for you guys. I know you coaches like that. I know you coaches like that for sure. And very exciting stuff. These are all really exciting fighters. You guys need to come out and watch these guys fight. I've seen all of them but Diego fight, and I can tell you that these guys are worth the price of admission alone, man. It's just $50 for a general ticket, which I think is crazy. $9.99 to watch these guys on our YouTube channel by joining the channel. And these guys are amazing, and they've got amazing personalities too, Coach. What can you tell me about the personalities of some of these guys? I know you've got some stories about these guys. I'd love to hear some.
So, we like to end our day, at practice, and we go to this little hangout spot called Campus, in Cyprus. Just a way for them to stop thinking about the fight game and just being who they are, trying to get to talk to Hattie, Diego. They're funny. During your last event, Hattie made that area just laugh, he just sat in that crowd and he goes, hey, look at this fighter. Look at this fighter. People are cheering on for the other fighter. Hattie's meeting these fighters, friends, and saying, hey, this guy's a good fighter. So he's putting himself out there like, hey, my name is Hattie. I want to fight for this promotion. I'm going to do it again. So yeah. It's great. And then David told, one of the bartenders over there, hey, I'm going to be fighting. And then the bartender remembered him, gave him a free drink, and these guys, they love to entertain each other during the gym too. If somebody gets kicked in the head, they make fun of each other, if somebody's not lifting up the weights or struggling on the weights, they're making fun of each other, but they also help clean that gym. That gym is spotless, so after practice, you got Diego, mopping the floor, Steven's helping out with buying all the supplies. So they're just helping. They're a team. They just want to have fun. And you've seen their Instagram, you've seen their social media where, they're training and they're having fun. To be a fighter, you take it seriously when you're training, but when you're off, you want to be who you are. And I love those guys. I like them being who they are.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what's to be said about, because this is an individual sport, but you do have your cornerman, but not just that. I mean, when you're coming into an event like this one, and you've got 3 teammates fighting with you, it's almost like you're going to war. You know what I mean? You're going to battle with these guys. Tell me a little bit about that. Do you feel that vibe kind of going on right now with this fight coming up?
I feel it. When we were training, they started giving themselves that nickname, the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen. So I'm thinking about linebackers. Chicago Bears. These guys are ready to put it on the line for fighters rep. So there's nothing more to say about that. They just want to go in there and just fight and display. They want to come out victorious. So we're looking to go 4-0 on this, so, we've done 3-0 and came out with a championship belt. Abel, if he's watching, he was part of that, Daniel Sims, Robert Ortiz. So now we have the 4 guys that are evenly matched up with their opponent. It's up to them to bring the victory. We're going to help them. We're going to give them the advice. We're going to help them with the training, but it's going to be individually on them. The last 2 minutes, 3rd round, they come victorious, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of, giving them advice, being part of the team, Stephanie Ferrer in the chat, big shout out to her. She says, my DeWatt boys are ready for war. Hi, George. Hi, right back to you, Stephanie. Big shout out to Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. Let's plug that real quick, Coach Pot. Buena Park Martial Arts Academy, you're over there teaching people your brand of kickboxing, which I think is just an amazing brand. Your brand of striking, right? Because it's not just a kickboxing gym. It's an MMA gym. There's jiu-jitsu going on. There's everything. Tell me a little bit about it.
So Coach Johnson, Miss Vera, they're the owners of BPMAA. So they have me teaching some of the kickboxing classes, the Muay Thai classes, the boxing classes. Then the fighters will come into the sparring on Monday and Wednesdays. Those are the guys that want to dedicate themselves into, competing, into, like your events, so, and that's where we come together. We text each other as a team, me, Matt, and Stephanie, and we're talking like, hey, how about this guy? How can we improve this person? What do you think about this? So we're communicating with that, so with that communication, man, the fighters that's going into your event, you have also 3 other people, helping them as a corner, and not only that, their teammates that are sparring with them, it's going to be amazing.
Coach Paul, what's kind of the trajectory for the team? I mean, is it just guys show up and whatever combat sport they want to do, you guys push them in that direction, or are you guys like aiming for a certain direction for the fighters? Like you want them all to compete in Muay Thai, you want them all to do MMA, you want them all to do kickboxing, what's kind of the trajectory, if there is one, for the guys there?
We don't have that. So each of our students that come into the gym, they control their own destiny. We teach them the martial arts that's taught over there, and they come to us and communicate with us. Hey, I do want to compete. I have guys that are in their 40s and their 45s. I have guys that are in 16, that come to us and say, okay, coach, I'm ready to compete. What's the next step? So that's when we come together, we communicate, we build, a list of people, take their pictures. So we want to get everything ready. So if you're calling me up and say, hey, do you have anybody for last placement? So we're training the guys ready for this. Yeah. So, but it's their choice. We had a big meeting we said, hey, we don't want to push you guys to fight, but if you choose to fight, you choose to compete, come and let us know, and then we will help you get ready for it.
I love it. And you're kind of in charge of the striking over there?
So back in 2016, Coach Johnson, asked me if I could help him out with the fight team. So I was able to help him out with the fight team. But it's Coach Johnson. He's going to be in charge of the striking, the Muay Thai, the boxing, for all the fighters. I'm his assistant coach, where I'm able to help him with the defense, and then Stephanie came in, and she's getting all the guys to clean up all their fundamentals, so
Gotcha.
yeah, if you saw, if you're going to see it, you're going to see it with Hattie, you're going to see it with Steven, you're going to see it with David, you're going to see it with Diego. So their new style of fighting, we're bringing back fundamentals.
I love it. I love it. And, one thing you touched on is you're going to go 4-0. We've had this conversation before briefly. It's hard, right? It's hard at FightersRep to go in there with 2, 3, 4 guys and come away undefeated. And I think you brought that up to me, right? You said the best you've seen is Coach Rage. I think you said he went 3-1 one time, and
3-1.
I got to thinking, man, it's really hard to go undefeated in the Lions Den. I mean, we do, I do take pride in trying to match guys up real tight. You're aiming for 4-0. Gotta tell me about that, man.
We're aiming 4-0, so Coach Rage is an amazing person. When I'm in the back in the locker room, I get to listen to him. I get to hear him, coach his students, and, coming back from the fight, he's able to give them the pep talk. He's just full of energy, so yeah. Shout out to Coach Rage. What an amazing person he is. But for us, me, Coach Johnson, Miss Vera, we're holding the guys accountable, not as competitors, not as students, but as a person. So if you could put that all together, your goal is to win, to compete, so let's see if you could do it. We kind of know these guys. We know what they're doing, what they're putting themselves into. 2-a-days, 3-a-days, that's why I say 4-0. That's why I said to you, hey, 4-0 is possible. And I want to do that,
Man, that would be something. A few shows ago, I want to say like a couple years ago, maybe, or about a year and a half ago, we were doing like a team sort of cup that we would do for the team that performed the best at the FightersRep events. And you're making me think, with this conversation, it's kind of making me think about maybe bringing that back, right? Not just having title fights, but, giving something out to the teams that perform the best, because it's hard. It's hard. When you brought that Rage thing up to me, I said to myself, wow, Coach Pot has a point, man. It's hard to come in there with multiple fighters and do well. I mean, do you feel like it's like distracting to have a lot of fighters on the card? Or, I mean, do you rather have just one? I mean, how does that feel?
I like to have, 2 fights, because, we're able to focus with them in the back, and then during training camp. But we have a team. We have a big team. Right. Now that we have Miss Ferrer coming in to help us, we got Jeffrey helping us too. We're able to present 4 fighters. And then the 4 fighters are close to the same weight class. So we're able to train them the same way. So that's why the 4 horsemen, these guys, is a perfect fit for us to train for your show.
What's one thing we could look out for? Just one thing we can look out for from each guy.
From each guy, they're getting better. So let's go ahead and go to Hattie. You're putting him on, as a first fight. You're going to get to see a full training camp, and you're going to see kickboxing skills from Hattie. He's going to put it together. You have to remember, Hattie has strong hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't put, one person down in the lion's den, but, during the gym, man, he hits people. They'll come to me and go, hey, coach, he hit me hard. Then I go, well, kick him back in the face. I always tell Hattie, to kick people in the face. I love it,
Yeah.
So that's the thing for you to see, you know, and then also for everybody that knows Hattie, he's going to display a kickboxing skill that that hasn't been displayed in the Lions Den. Okay, going to Steven, we want him to finish that third round. You know, so he's doing 3 days. We want him to get tired. We want to push him. You know, in the last training he had, you know, he did 6 rounds, and then he goes, "Coach, I'm going to take a break." You know, and then, you know, you have a professional fighter named David Duran goes, "Who takes breaks?" You know, and Steve gets back up and starts sparring. We could tell he's tired, but he's pushing himself.
Yeah.
And I told Steven, hey, that's what you have to do. You know, when you're getting tired, you got to keep on pushing yourself. You know, David, you know, what a machine. Got to work early, 4 o'clock in the morning to do personal training. Got to go to another gym to train. And then you see him coming to practice ready. Get that bandana, get that showsman. "Hey, coach, who do you want me to spar with?" Let's go with those 2 pros first. You know, and they're working. And then Diego, I just tell him, kick him in the head, you know, and he smiles at me, you know. So, you know, handsome young man, you know, very small. And then, you know, you see his picture, you know, he has a beard. He looks like a, you know, a warrior, you know, but one of the most generous person ever. You know, if you need help with anything, this guy will help you. But he's going to be in the ring. He's going to look for a victory. All 4 guys are looking for victories. They got to put it together. It's going to be up to them. You know, the coaches are going to help them, but they're going to have to, you know, display it all. But like I said, it's not going to be just going into the ring. You know, we're talking with them after practice how to promote themselves. Social media, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you know, you got the podcast. I want you guys telling all the students, guys, take a picture with these fighters, post it on your Instagram, just promoting them more and more. I want their face to be out. I want them to get to a level where they're fighting, you know, every 2 months until they turn pro. And then when they turn pro, they have sponsorships, they have promotional money where they're able to say, hey, you know, I don't have to work a 9 to 5 anymore. You know, I'm able to make enough money to become a fighter, you know. So
that's the goal. That's the goal.
That's where I want them to be at, you know. And then, you know, in the future, you know, they could open up their own gym, and now they're going to have a new style of fighters to present to the FightersRep. So
for sure.
It's a growing process.
That'd be amazing. I was gonna ask you, you know, I know what you think about your guys. I know you're going for that 4-0, but we touched on this briefly today, right? When I got to see you in person. Main event, Joshua Caldwell, Kaylee Scott. You know, I know you don't know much about Kaylee Scott, but you've seen Caldwell fight. Also, co-main event, you know both of these guys, Raymond Martinez versus Cameron Spencer. You know, if I can get your thoughts on these fights. I mean, maybe if you don't want to give a prediction, I understand, but at least I would love your thoughts on this fight. Let's start with Raymond Spencer versus or Ray Martinez versus Cam Spencer, because I know you know those 2 guys.
Yeah, so you talk about Ray Martinez. You know, he fought my fighter at 185, Diego. You know, long Diego with good knees, good boxings. But Ray had a good strategy. Take him to the corner. Remember, it's kickboxing, boxing. Just outbox him. Boom, 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 boom. You know, Diego was telling me, you know, Ray does have a strong punch. You know, so if you watch Ray in his last 2 fights, he's able to put people down. You know, but the cool thing about Ray, he's explosive and he's getting faster. His hand combination is fast. 1, 2, 3. And the thing about him too, he's very smart. He knows when the body's open. He knows when, you know, other shots are open. You know, Cameron Spencer, hard, you know, strong, putting people down with a body shot, you know, knocking people out. He's strong, you know. So for people that haven't seen FightersRep or want to buy a ticket, you guys have to buy tickets to go watch Raymond Martinez, you know, versus Cameron Spencer. You know, you have somebody's going to go down, or it's going to be a split decision in the 3rd round, you know. So
it's going to be actually 5 rounds.
5 rounds. So it's going to be
we're going to do a title fight.
So like I said, so one person is going to go down, you know, or it's going to be a 5-round split decision. It's going to be a battle. So
Yeah.
get your tickets ready for this one, you know. And I want this fight to happen. I can't wait for it, you know.
I love this fight. And then, Caldwell versus Kaylee Scott. I told you a little bit about Scott. He's an older dude, but he's 13-6. He's in tremendous shape and, more experience than Caldwell. But, Caldwell's just looking so good lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Josh, I watched him. He's a very smart fighter. He knows how to use his jab. He knows how to use his cross to the body, putting it together. As a fighter, you can't just keep on going to the face. You have to get the fighter tired. And every single fight that I saw Caldwell do, he gets them tired. And then when it's ready to go after that person, he'll go after that person. I think he is the face. He's going to be, the face of kickboxing. I can see it in the future. He's, his name is going to be rising to the top. Also Bracken's going to be rising to the top too. He's an amazing fighter. I see this guy get hit, and he just shakes it off, and he just goes in there and just, he just goes there and just beat his opponent. Great showsman, great song walking out to, great hair. You are producing talent. These are talented fighters. They need to have their name recognized with your promotion, with your YouTube, with your videos that you're promoting. These guys is an amazing. I hope they're thanking you for this, George.
I appreciate it, Coach Pot. I work hard so that in the future these guys don't have to. That's the goal. Let's work hard so that in the future we don't have to, and we can just enjoy this amazing community we built and all the money and, God willing, the sponsorships that are going to boost all of us up. Coach Pot, I've kept you on for a while now. I took a lot of your time today. I want to thank you again today for your time. Before I let you go, any shout outs, any one you want to thank, and also let people know why they need to buy tickets to Fighters Rep 15 on September 3rd.
So the 4 Horsemen are coming. So make sure you guys are supporting Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. Every student, I want you guys to show support. Bring out that BP shirt and show the support. Guys that are friends with the 4 Horsemen, keep on telling your friends. You guys have sponsorships. Get these guys paid with the sponsorship. They'll put their name on their shirt, presenting at a fight. You've watched George's videos, of the fight. These are very particular detailed videos, so you'll see your logo on there. I met a person named John. He was, he has combat sports diet nutrition, so he was able to help one of my fighters get to the 4th round with a diet plan. So, shout out to him also. And then always a shout out to you, George, man, for that post-up game.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And then I also want to thank the opportunity that Coach Johnson and Miss Vera has given me at BP Martial Arts Academy. Without them, George, I wouldn't even be able to meet you.
Yeah.
Me, assisting with the fight team. It's just a great opportunity. And just remember the name Saul at 160 pounds. I'm bringing him to you. So get ready for him. Okay.
I'll keep him in mind. And what Coach Pot is referring to there, guys, is he's constantly building up talent over there at Buena Park Martial Arts Academy, and we really appreciate that. Without the fighters, there is no promotion. Without the promotion, the fighters don't get known. So we all work together in this thing. Coach Pot, thank you so much again for your time. If you guys want to come see Coach Pot, you can do so not only at Fighters Rep 15 by getting your tickets at FightersRep.com. Go see him. Go get some training from him. Go get some training from Buena Park Martial Arts Academy. Get your butts in shape, all right? Go give him a follow on Instagram and find out how you can do that. Thank you all for your time. Thank you again, Coach Pot. And, guys, be sure to subscribe and join the channel if you haven't already.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Coach Pot. And thank you to everyone for joining us. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon.